Hey folks, welcome to Jimmy D's Guitar Lessons Rock Talk. I am your host, Jimmy D. That's why the show is called Jimmy D's Guitar Lessons Rock Talk, and also why my YouTube channel is called that too. Anyway, so what are we going to look at today? I had some people asking me, hey, what kind of tools do you use to do some basic maintenance on your guitar and setup? So I have them here. I'm going to move the camera around. We're just going to do a brief introduction on what the tools do and what they're called, and then we'll have some other videos up in the future on a little deeper dive. We'll talk about each individual tool and how it works. This way you can use them as a reference instead of just watching a long video. You can just go to that one video. So I'm going to move the camera around and we're going to take a look and see what they do. Stick around. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. Here's a nice tool. This is what I use to see if my neck is straight. It's pretty simple. You put it on here. See, it's for different scale lengths of the guitars. You put it on here, and what's cool about it, you just look down and you can see if your neck is bowed or not, and you could adjust it, your truss rod here. I don't want to bring the camera down. Like I said earlier, we'll do a little deeper dive into this. But this is the tool I use. Just got this off the internet. I think I bought most of my tools off of Amazon, and I did get some from a local guitar store in town. So support local if you can, if not, online. So this tells you how my neck is. Another good tool here, we call this the fret rocker. The purpose of this is to make sure that your frets are nice and level, that there's no high spots, low spots. And you can see it's got a shape to it, and it's an engineered shape. So when you start here, you put it on these frets and you rock it back and forth. If it, goes like this, you got issues. But you just go like this all the way down. You check your frets, and then you keep moving it down. And you check your frets. I'll just move it down more. See here, I'm hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 frets. Well, 5 frets there. You have to spin this like this. And that's what it's for. So then you can get it on 3 frets only. Move to your next frets, move down. See, here we're stuck. So that's why you spin it around, and then you go to your other frets. When you get down to here, about 22, you have to take it like this, and then you rock it back and forth. And if you have to do some fret adjustments, obviously the strings will be off. There's a few things that I do. I will put a black Sharpie on here, and I'll use this straight edge, and I'll put some fine sandpaper on there, and I'll go like this a few times to see if I have any low spots. And if I do, I'm not a person to change the frets. I've never changed the frets. That's a whole different aspect. At least I could use some of these files here to address the issue. And what's good about these files here, this one here has some notches in it, so it goes right over the fret. Frets are different sizes, like the jumbo frets here. So you just pick the right one and you dress it. I guess that's a technical term for it, and fix your issues there. So fret rocker, files, straight edge. These things here, these are radius gauges. Get this out of the way. And also these are radius gauges. So it's good to know what your guitar is. I know mine's a 9.5. You're going like, oh, how do you check it? Well, you'd stick this in here, you'd spin it, and you can lift it up. But I'm not going to. Typically you do that here. So when you adjust your strings, you could get a little bit of curve to it and see how it is. These radiuses here, these gauges, you got a narrow and you got a wide one. So you could use these when you have the strings on. You just turn it like this to see what it is. I know what it is. And you could tell if it's off. It's hard to see here. Like I said, we'll do a little deeper dive. But that's good to know. And like I said, because when you put your strings on, you don't go straight. You put this in there and you kind of give it a little curve. So you have to adjust here. Okay, when you're doing your action, your string height. When you do your string height from there. Okay, so radius gauges, more radius gauge. This is probably one of my favorite tools. It's a string action ruler. So it has it in I guess this would be imperial, metric here. Sorry, the other way around. But you can see on the back here how it has millimeters and then inches. It will tell on the back here. You measure from the 12th fret. You got electric guitar, acoustic guitar, bass guitar. So basically, I'm not going to bring the camera on. You just put this here and then look down to see where it is. I keep mine at 1.50, and that's where it is. If it's high, then you have to do adjustments on here, okay, to get that action and your string height. So that's what that is. Pretty good tool. I have bought a few things before, and I think I've got one of these for free, which is really cool. So that's that. These here are for when you want to polish your frets. I usually polish my frets once in a while. This would go, obviously your strings would be off. Go on here and it will protect the wood beside it. And, you can't really, well, that fits, but they have smaller ones for down here. So it just protects it. I just take a little bit, piece of Scotch-Brite, sometimes a green one or a red one, and then I'll polish it with metal polish. I have a little Dremel tool with a polishing pad on there, and I'll polish it. So it's really cool. These here, string winders, you've probably seen these. They come in kits. Sometimes you get them chucked in for free. Has a little puller here for when you're doing acoustic guitars. You're going on the back and you're taking out those things there. Pegs. This one here goes on a drill. It's good for bass guitar, electric, acoustic. Put it on your drill. Wind them up. Use these when you're putting strings on, just to get you where you need to go. And then I always recommend just doing it by hand. Yeah, and those are the tools. There again, we got some files, because you can use files here on the nut. Files are good. They come in handy and they're good to have. String winders that we just talked about. These protect your fretboard when you're doing your frets. This is cool with the string height action. Also the ruler in the back. You could measure your pickup height to see how your pickups are, because you could adjust your pickups. Radius gauges, they come in all different radiuses, different styles. So that's really cool. And I would think this number one here would be the fret rocker with the built-in string height thing. If you were to get a tool, if you're just starting out, this would be good. And if you're not starting out, you know how important this is. So that is it. I'm going to change the camera angle and wrap her up. All right, that's it. That's a quick overview of some of the tools that I use to do maintenance and setup on a guitar. If you have any questions, please let me know. Leave them in the comments below. Please subscribe if this is your first time here. And if it is your first time and you subscribe, just say hi. I'll say hi back. I always respond to my comments. Appreciate it. I do have some other videos on my channel that talk about guitars, talks about gears, some guitar lessons, a lot of concerts lately, which is kind of cool, some live local bands. So yeah, that's it. We're going to be doing a deeper dive on each tool a little later on. And again, thanks a lot. Appreciate everyone's support. Take care. Yes, and rock on. Yeah.